Good morning, my little sugar wiggers. What's up? Happy Saturday. Beautiful day in the city today. Hope it's beautiful where you are. Y'all, come on in. Let's chat about this. I think this is some serious information that we need to put out here and chat about this morning. We are exactly 3 weeks away from the election. How many of you have already early voted? How many of you are going to vote? Not really interested too much in who you're going to vote for because that's none of my business. But if you don't vote, like I've always said, you don't have a voice in this whatsoever. But have you seriously sit down to really stop and look at each individual candidate, what their platform is all about? What are they going to do for you? Now, I consider middle class these days $1 million down to about maybe $50,000 a year. It's a wide range, but that's the times we're living in. We really been concentrating a lot on the Diddy saga over here. It was a trending topic, which is all good. But to this morning, that wasn't what was on my mind. I'm not really focusing on Diddy at all this morning because it ain't gonna make no difference what happens to Diddy when it comes down to the cost of your living. How you gonna live? And just because a president gets in there for 4 years, it will take 8 years for the next president to clean up the act of the last president. That's the way it goes down. Now, we went through a crisis here a few years back with the pandemic. And we saw how the prices soared. People need goods and services, commodities. You have to have gas for your car. You have to have food to eat. You have to have your medicines. People shouldn't not have to make a choice in whether they're going to buy their medicine or whether they're going to eat. Nobody in my era who is retired, have a retirement, or Social Security and or both, never dreamed that their retirement would be so. It was great when you first retired. Social Security was great. I mean, you could just do and live any kind of way you want to. But you have to remember, those are fixed incomes. You get a little raise on Social Security here and there. You'll never get a raise on your retirement. So if you don't work for a company that has a 401k that'll match you dollar for dollar, you really have a small amount of money these days. Who wants or whoever dreamed of working all of their lives? Your children are getting caught up in this. This is why it's so important. It ain't so important for me and people my age. We got enough to make it till we leave out of here. If you're still able-bodied, you can go out there and get you some more money. If you need some more money, there are plenty of things older people can do. Well, they don't even have to go out the house. You can work online now. So I'm not too concerned about older people as much as I am the younger people. They don't even have a chance if they haven't secured a really good job. Most of them are coming out of college these days with loans out the yang, especially if they went to law school or if they went to medical school. That's a long time in school. You could be talking about 8 to 12 years if you specialize as a doctor. If you're an attorney, you stayed in school a long time. You went to high school. Okay, no problem. But then you get to college. There are college expenses now that you can leave out of college with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So you got to go get a job. It ain't no way because you got to pay. As soon as you walk down that aisle, you better be trying to figure out how you going to pay that stuff back. Because as soon as you get a job, they're going to get that money back. And you might be paying it back for 20 years. That don't cost you a lot of money if you know, sit down and you talk to the people. Well, I can't afford to pay but $100 a month. I can't afford to pay but $50 a month. They're gonna extend those years on you. So now you in this crisis where you have a family and you have children and you're trying to raise your children in the same mindset that you were raised in or better. So how is it affecting your family? Older people who have grandchildren and great grandchildren are having to help them out now because it just ain't enough money. If you go out there and you get you a home these days, homes are not $100,000 or less anymore. Mm-mm. You can go up to $1 million home depending on your income coming in. But the middle class is taking care and have been for a very, very long time. They're taking care of the wealthy and they are taking care of the poor with their hard earned taxpayers' dollars. They're taking care of prisoners. They're taking care of everybody. How much longer is this going to go before there is no middle class anymore? So you'll have the rich and the poor. That's the way it's looking to me. That's the way it seems to be going down. Drop your comments in. Let's talk about this. This is some serious stuff. I was looking last night. I wasn't feeling too good last night. I got off the bus last night and my leg was really just aching for no reason. It wasn't the knee either. It was a hip. So I said to myself, self, it's a part of old age and it's a part of the accident that you had last year. Deal with it. Go in there and get you some pain medication and whatever. I took the ibuprofen. I think it was 600 milligrams. I rubbed it with the green arthritis, sports alcohol, and what else I took? Neoproxen, I believe it was. Whatever, baby, it put me to sleep and I was dead gone. Miss Margaret called me to do her hair last night at 10:25 because she didn't like the way the girl had done her hair yesterday. I never heard her. I got up this morning and saw where she had called, and she has a class reunion this weekend, so she wanted her hair to look good. So she was able to get in contact with her. The girl's supposed to be doing her hair right now as we speak. Thank God, because I haven't even gotten up this morning. That's why I'm on StreamYard this morning. Y'all hit the like button for me coming in. I appreciate that. So I was looking at some polling before I fell asleep last night. And you know, it's all kind of polls out there, and you can't believe any of them because really it's just a snapshot. It's just a prediction. That's all it is. And every poll is going to have a margin of error. And that is what is critical. We have 3 weeks to election day. In fact, I got to get over there this weekend and get my papers from Tasha's house so I can go ahead on an early vote because that needs to be in on Monday. So Sunday, I'll either drop it in the post office tomorrow after I finish it and have that behind me so at least I know I voted. Let me stop for a minute and speak to everybody coming in. Then we're gonna get on with this conversation because this conversation is gonna affect everybody. I don't care how much money you have, it's gonna affect you depending on who gets in office. Now, hold on. Let me go back and speak to everybody, and then we'll move on with the conversation. Good morning, Miss Lee. Before first in the building this morning. Hey, Betty, how you doing? What's up, LaWanda? Blue True, happy Saturday, Lady V. Completed my early voting this week. Good for you, Blue True. When we fight, we win. Exactly. We're not in slavery anymore, and we're not going. I don't even know what "Make America Great Again" means. What does that mean? I thought it was already one of the greatest nations in the world, but that slogan, I'm trying to deal with that slogan. Are you meaning make it great again because you want to take us back to where we been or our forefathers were? Ain't nobody going back there, baby. No, we some new black folks. We wasn't brought over on no slave ships. Nah. And even the slaves did some remarkable things. Didn't they build the White House and the Capitol? Who else you think built it? Better look at your history. Isn't it still standing today? It's a structure that is just beautiful. To say that it was all made by hands. There wasn't no computers back then. It wasn't no electric, nothing back then. Hand made. Yeah, by our people. Good morning, Mr. How are you? Hey, Shantika. Early voting starts here Tuesday. I got a mail-in ballot, Miss Lieber. Um, but that's good. You can get it out the way. You don't have to stand in them long lines and all that stuff. Hey, to just straight out of Canada. Good morning to you. Miss Audra's in the building. Thank you. And happy belated birthday, Miss Lee, before. I didn't know it. Happy belated birthday, Miss Lee, before. God sent you here, and He's got a reason for each and every one of us being here, and He's kept you here. So continue to do the work of the Lord. Whatever it is He assigned to you, because each of us have an assignment. Good morning, Miss Deborah Silver. Blessings right back to you, Shatika. I'm going on down. Shatika, exactly. The middle class is looking like the 8-track. Yeah, antiquated. Back in the day. The cassette. All that stuff that we don't have no more. But I'm not a hater, and I'm praying for higher power above to turn this thing around. It's got to, Shatika. It has to. It doesn't matter if Trump gets in there or Kamala gets in there. It's got to serve the people. Because if you run away the middle class and he decides that the wealthy above $1 million is not going to pay any taxes, we're in a world of trouble. Then who's going to pay it? We're going to be one of these countries that everybody is going to have to learn to live together. Black people stop pulling black people down, stop bashing other black people, stop being crabs in the bucket. It ain't no time for that right now. This stuff is serious. Lean not to one's own understanding. You better tell them, Shatika. Good morning, Miss Leslie. How are you doing this morning? So back to the polls. So I read that it was 5 million Americans that have already voted. Okay, so is that included in the polls or is that excluded from the polls? See, there's a lot of stuff out there that we as lay people don't know. We also know that Mississippi, Alabama, and New Hampshire have no early voting. That means those people got to get out there on the day of election and they got to stand in that line. But one thing I want you to understand about polling too is it's very unpredictable. A poll is nothing but a snapshot. That's all. So don't just look at one poll and say, okay, well, New York Post say Trump is leading, and then the Washington Post might say, oh no, Kamala's leading. It's that margin of error that you have to take into consideration because they could have a 2 to 3 positive or negative margin of error. So depending on what poll you're looking at, she could be leading or he could be leading. But look at the margin of error that is within that poll, and nothing has changed. It remains the same. If it's a +3 or a -3 and she's within, then she's still leading. But she's still within that error. I hope you understanding what I'm saying. Eventually, it's going to come down to the swing states. Those are going to be critical. In every election, the swing states are the critical ones. And we don't elect officials by popular vote. Go back to Hillary Clinton. What that would have been, 2016. She won the popular vote, but she lost electoral votes. It's the electoral votes that count. So are you looking at a national poll that's just polling people, or are you thinking much deeper as to what is really going to win the election? The margin of error is critical. I can't express that enough when you're looking at polling. 220,000 people in Minnesota have already voted. Again, is that considered in the polling that you're looking at? Like I say, it depends. Swing states will determine the election. Also, young people voting under the age of 30 will help to determine the election. They have more time here on earth. So their mindset has to be, as they're out there in the working world right now. And do they have a 401k that's going to help them build some wealth? Are they investing their money into anything? Because I'm telling you, from the time I started work to the time I retired, looking back, it wasn't very long. It seemed and it appeared to be a long time, between 20 and 40, but it really wasn't. I was focused on the children and getting them out of college and getting them on their feet. So it looked like time was just really going by really, really slow for me, because you steady issuing out money on those kids. Once they left home, it flew from 40 to 60. Let me get into the chat for a minute. Hold on. Let me go back up. Give me a minute. I was at Shatika. I spoke to Miss Leslie. Okay, I'm going to vote in November, but I'm still on the fence. Both sides are. My neighbor is voting as an independent. Okay, I'm so glad you brought that out too, Shatika, because that's going to be another determining factor. There's usually 2 to 3% of independent votes out there, and they may switch over at the ninth hour, just before they walk in there to pull that lever. And then sometimes they say, I don't want neither one of them. So that's a big plus in the election of who wins also. The only thing I can tell you as a content creator, I cannot tell you who to vote for. I would be wrong, because it's your personal choice. But I can tell you this much: you better look at what these people are saying and what they're doing and what they're promising you, because they're not going to do all the promises they get in there, because Congress and the senators got to vote too. Okay? So they're leading the nation with what they want on their platforms when they become president. But it doesn't mean that it's always going to pass. Okay. Ms. Audrey say, after Obama gave Ethel Kennedy eulogy, he went back on speaking for Harris. Clinton is doing the same. We won't go back. Go back for what? What was it back there that was so great that we need to go back for? It was a struggle. I'm 70 years old. I know what I'm talking about. I know what my parents went through with 7 children in the house. Yeah, we always had, but it didn't mean that they didn't work from sun up to sundown. They got up early every morning, either to feed us and get us ready to get us off to school, or my mom going in there teaching every day. Back then, classrooms are big. She might have anywhere from 30 to 35 kids in a classroom. That's a lot of children you seeing within a day. And remember, there were no computers back then. None of this stuff these kids have. They supposed to be smarter than smart these days. You can Google anything and use your common sense and figure out, yeah, that's true. Now, let me Google another source of information over here. Good morning, Margaret. How are you? That's Margaret Bolden. Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Good morning, Cindy. Um, Cindy, I'm not sure, but they want you to go away. Who is that? Miss Margaret said, go on, Cindy. Y'all don't do that. Do not. We're not going to argue about who, what, and where, and how. None of that. Okay. Just come in and be respectful and put your comments into the chat, and let's talk about it. Be respectful of each other. You can't tell anybody how to vote, or you can't tell anybody what to do, and you can't tell me what to say on my platform. That's out. So now that we got the rules and the regulations straight on the game over here today of what we talking about, let's be respectful. Thank you. Hey, Miss Aretha, how you doing? Shireen, good morning. How are you? And welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Movado, hey, Sugar, I ain't seen you in a minute. What they mean is make America white again. You ain't gonna never be able to do that. Never. I mean, that would be kind of shallow minded of me to think. I'm working with kids every day, and there's so many new races of Americans out there now because everybody's marrying everybody. Everybody's having children by everybody. It ain't no black on black, black on white, even. No. Mm-mm. I have children that are half this and half that, and a third of this and a third of that. Baby, it's just you don't know what race these kids are. You have no clue. It'll never be white again. It was never all white from the beginning. Maybe they classed themselves, but if they had taken just a little look into their background, might have been something in there they wanted to hide or they didn't want you to know. But we ain't going back there, Movado. They can forget that. We're too smart. We are not in bondage. We are not being brought over from Africa on some little ships, in bondage down there. Even on the ships, they brought us over. Where people are catching all kind of diseases and all kind of stuff on the little ships, and then get us off the ships and half fed, and then start working us and beating us and all that. We ain't taking that no more. Hey, Kenya, make America great again always seemed like a subliminal 5 comment. Exactly, Kenya. He never explained it. He just used it as his slogan. And I always thought, what are you talking about? My coffee. I got my coffee, Queen. I'm not on StreamYard this morning because Sharita is going to do my hair between 12 and 1. So I've taken it all down. And when I get off of here, I'm going to go shampoo it and condition it and have it ready for her when 12 o'clock comes. I'm going to call her and ask if she could come up here today because I really don't feel like going down there today. But if she can't, I understand, and I'm going to make my move and move on down there because it has to be done. Okay, let's sing. Since I can't vote, I'm here for support. Exactly. Thank you so much. To just is a Canadian and she lives in Canada, so she cannot vote. But she has a right to express her opinion because a lot of things that happen in America affects the world. Because we trade with the world now. We are global. We're not just here in America. We have goods and services coming in and going out. So it affects the world. Politicians are all the same. Use common sense and what they have done, not what they are saying. Let me stop right there. You are so right, Shatika, because if you look at both of them and you look at what she's done as vice president, okay, and be truthful to yourself, look at what he did as president. You can make a sound and a clear judgment. Because a lot of things that have happened under his watch has never happened in history. Just think about it. Just be truthful to yourself. What did he do when he was in office? Look at his track record. Were we better off before he got in there, or were we worse off? Ask yourself some questions. I don't have the answer for them. I'm just telling you to stop and think. That portfolio background and policies and common sense, that's what you need. This election is critical. Probably the most critical election that we will have in this century because it will change the world order of things and how we once lived, how we gonna live, and it's not gonna ever go back to where it was. So if you basing your platform on trying to take it back to making it great again, whatever that means, it's probably not going to happen. Even if you win, it's not going to happen. Good morning, Elaine. Right, it seems so subliminal saying make America great again. Exactly. What does that mean? Can you tell me what that means? I need another stimulus check. We all do, Misty. They haven't given stimulus checks since the pandemic. So the prices went up and they have stabilized at higher values. Or when you go to get gasoline, I'm out there on the road every day. So we passing by service stations every day. Well, gas stations. Ain't no service no more. And the price might be $2.79 over here, $2.59 over there. And then you might see one off the beaten path, $2.39. Why are the prices fluctuating so much? And this changes every day. I see it with my own eyes. Me and Miss Diana said, oh, we can go to the Valero today and fill up. It's $2.39 over there, where everywhere else it was $2.59, $2.69, $2.70. That makes a difference in how many gallons you going to get and how far you going to be able to drive on those gallons that you get. You got to look at it all now. We got Thanksgiving coming. And you mean to tell me for one day, we got to go out now and spend hundreds of dollars to feed the same family we used to could feed on $50. It is ridiculous. He avoided 60 Minutes Fox News. He does what he wants to, Miss Audrey. If he don't want to show his medical record, he doesn't. If he says that he is cognitive okay to be president again, that's what the doctor said. How do we know who the doctor is? Was he paid under the table to, give him this medical result? We don't know. We can only hear what he's saying. I am sick and tired of hearing about that brick wall down there. You were in there 4 years. You so great at building a wall. That's what you said. I did not say it, Mr. President, ex-president. You said Mexico was going to help pay for that wall. Where is that money from Mexico? See, that's the kind of stuff I be looking at. You say a lot, but you ain't shown us nothing where they helped to pay for that wall and why you didn't finish that wall in those 4 years. But yet, the Biden administration is being blamed for people coming over, but you are the one that started that brick wall. See, it's all in how you look at stuff, people. Harris has attended and was strong. Yeah, she comes out. She wanted to debate him again. He didn't want to debate. So why is the rules for her and they're not the same for him? Nothing is on equal playing grounds. Now, that's my opinion. Pandemic happened for sure, yes, but he said in the beginning, Kenya, that the pandemic was just a hoax. It wasn't real. He put no interest on it. I'm waking up, I'm living out in Las Vegas at the time, and every day I turn on the TV, it's all day long on CNN. Hundreds of people are dying across America, but you did nothing. Obama left you a plan that in the event that this did happen, but you didn't bother to pick it up and do nothing. So did that make America great? I'm just asking questions because it doesn't appear that it made it great to me. A lot of us lost our loved ones, like I said, including me. My husband caught it in the hospital after a very serious car accident, and that's what took him out of here. He really is having mental issues. Was in Detroit speaking and told them you don't want to be like Detroit. Folks there are awful. But yet people act like they don't hear it. And we too quick to forget. A lot of things that he did and said 4 years ago, they don't even remember that now. Again, it's almost like following the diddler. People like him, they like him, no matter what he did, how wrong it may have been. They still like you. And that's the way of the world. People can come out and lie on you. People can come out and scam you and everything, and you still there with them. That's the shallow minds that we have to deal with now. Before, you had a consensus, especially in the black race. We ain't voting for him. They got together at churches most of the time back then. Now churches don't want politicians in there. If they come to our church, they can't get up there and speak no more. They have to go out in the foyer when church is over, and they can talk to the people. But you can't come and get behind there and take up all church time anymore, which to me is a good thing. That, there's football fields. You can go out there and invite the people in any town. It's a bunch of places you can go and have your rallies. Movado, gas here is $3.60. What you say? $3.69 to $4.01 a gallon. Oh my God. And that's another thing too that we have to look at. The South has always been a much cheaper place to live in. But even now, the prices of things here are coming up to meet the standards of the West Coast, the East Coast, the North. We almost always got more bang for our buck, more land, a bigger home for less, with more amenities in it. The crown molding that faced around the ceiling, and it comes with the ceiling fans, and it comes with the stainless steel everything now. You have choices of this and that, and it was very little money to add this and add that. Average home now here in the South is 300,000. That's an average home. And you're not getting nearly the stuff you got in the 80s and in the 90s. And it's much smaller. The rooms are much smaller. You're not getting that fourth bedroom unless it's a bonus room that you add to the plan. Most of them came with 3 to 4 bedrooms. A lot of them are going up now because they're crowding out, where nobody wants to live away from the city anymore. Everybody wants to come close to the city because that's where the jobs are. So you just got to look at how the world is changing. Well, Ms.V, the corporations raised their prices to cover tariffs that Trump increased. Exactly, Movado. You speaking truth. Yes, they did. He was supposed to have townhouse talk. Wait, taking questions. Instead, he played. I was going to talk about that, Miss Audrey. He danced for almost 30 minutes and didn't take no question. He never answered not one question. You are exactly correct. Okay, so you got a dancing man in there, and people want to know such and such a thing, but you still don't know. But yet you want him to go and make. And look, go back. For those who are less than middle class, of the other color, that voted for him, aren't you still living the same way? What did he do for you? The wealthy can't say that. I was reading this morning where Amazon paid very few taxes, but it's $1 billion corporation. Most of your wealthy athletes, celebrities, people like that don't pay a whole lot of taxes. There's too many loopholes where they can get away from doing that. So you just gonna keep draining the middle class right on out of the system. You're gonna either make us get up and figure out how we gonna make some money in our latter years, or you gonna make us poor again. I ain't going down that road. Broken but unbothered. Is speaking to Miss April and myself. Thank you. I didn't see you, Miss April. Thank you for coming in. Audrey said he lied, saying no one got killed on January the 6th. I think the man suffers from dementia. Now, we all saw that. And this is no different than what goes on out here on YouTube. People come out and they make videos and they say this and they say that, and people take it and they flip it all the way around as if that video is still not up there, as if this stuff didn't hit the news on January the 6th and we know people got killed. But yet you still And this is what you want. Okay. And one of his attackers killed, lots were injured. And Pence was in danger. His vice president. He ain't voting for him this time either. Look at the people who voted for him in political power the last time, who's flipped the script on him this time. Just take a look for yourself. You don't need nobody to tell you nothing. The big C is still here, hasn't gone away, and it never will because it's airborne. It's no different than a common cold, pneumonia, or the flu. All those are airborne. If you sneeze or you pass through and you breathe in and you happen to pass through at the same time, chances of you getting it, it's great. And more pesticides and whatnots to keep sanitized, Marisa. Okay. Uh, Let me get back to where I was here. So, like I said, the polls are nothing but a predictor. So you can't go by the polls. So why would you go by the polls anyway? Why wouldn't you make a decision on your own recognizance? You're free to do that. Instead of just taking a little snapshot of, oh, she up this week. Oh, she said this week. Oh, he said that. Take it as a collective, as a whole. The margin of error is critical. It's more critical now than ever before. Democrats are running a very strong race against the Republican. Now, I've always been a person that I looked at the person. I didn't care whether it was a Democrat, and I am a Democrat, but I didn't look so much as to whether they were a Democrat or a Republican. People can be wrong as two left shoes, whether you one or the other. People can tell you one thing and don't show you nothing, haven't shown you nothing because it got a past history. So I voted the way I wanted to vote. I didn't pull straight tickets all the time. It depended on who they were and what I thought they could do for the people. The race appears to be incredibly close, even with the margin of error. It may take a few days to go back and take a look at the numbers again, just like before. Now, we had a little stuff going on with the last time he came in. Y'all think about that too. Don't forget that Biden supposedly has stolen the race. And we waste a lot of taxpayers' money going back counting ballots over and over and over again. But nothing was said or done about that. It was okay. But that's your taxpayers' dollars wasted. What's wrong with trying to house people in America? They out there working every day. Maybe they making their money on a fast food place. They still working. They still deserve some type of housing. But we waste so much money in America. There are buildings that could be made into housing for people that's just sitting up there rotting away. I told you, I looked at all these celebrities that have these $1 million mansions just sitting there going to waste, but not one of them have decided, okay, we're going to use this here as a small school. We're going to use this here for mental illness. We're going to use this here and make apartments out of it. You don't think Diddy's home would make a lot of apartments for people to live in? I just don't understand it. He would just get all this money and just walk away and leave it there. They'll put it up for sale, and if they can't get what they want, oh well, let it just sit there. It'll be all right. Hey, Carolyn, how you doing, Miss Tottenham? Mike Pence has endorsed Kamala. I think I read that the other day. You're correct. Uh-huh. No, you're not wrong. He has. And can you blame him? That man that tried to protect him up in that Capitol building that day, It was that black security that was running around through there getting them people up out of there. Don't forget now. Go back. Think about it. Please remember that only a selected group of people was polled for those results. Exactly. I ain't never been polled in my life. Have you? Let me go on down here. Black man running for governor in North Carolina said if a woman keep her skirt down, she wouldn't get R. What? This is a daily commercial. That's awful. Why would they even put that up there? Because all black women don't pull their skirts up. Some of us got it out the mud. Some of us climbed the ladder without that. It was our intelligence. We had what it took to do the job. And maybe you had a good boss at that time, or maybe you had a good supervisor, a manager that saw where you were going to help the company because you had what they were looking for. And you didn't have to pull up your skirt. During the times I was coming up in the ranks at Amoco doing a lot of different stuff that nobody had done before, wasn't because I pulled up my skirt. I was more equipped to handle what they needed to be done. They could trust me going into Chicago, where the home office was at that time, and try to talk to the people there. How can we satisfy you? I know what we sent you wasn't to spec, but how can we satisfy you with this $1 million worth of material, plastic, that we sent you that you can't use for anything? Everybody couldn't do that. Everybody couldn't go and negotiate at a table and keep that customer for them. That helps to keep you your job and report back. I got it. We still have them as a customer. They're willing to take this. Yeah, we're going to have to lose 5 cents on every pound or whatever. It's okay. We got them. We can make our money back up on the back end because they're still buying from us. You got to see things logical within a certain amount of reasoning. I knew how much. If we went to 10 cents, hey, that was going to be hard to negotiate because that's a lot of money. Don't sound like much, but you're talking about $1 million sitting on that railroad that's got to come back to us. And what can we do with it? Scrap it. That's it. Good morning, go getter. How are you? Just a saying, wow. Yeah, I mean, America has gotten so politically inclined, and the way we think about things is not necessarily thinking about your own life, your own lifestyle. You sitting up there 40, 50 years old, retirement is right around the corner, and you have no retirement plan. You think government assistance is going to be there forever? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Again, depends on who gets in there and their thought processes. Maybe they think you don't need welfare anymore. You don't need food stamps anymore. And a lot of that has been misappropriated. Housing, even. We had a house that we were renting where the lady only paid us $15 and we got the rest of the money, through the government. But she had a man up in there, which she wasn't supposed to have a man. It was supposed to have been her and her minor child. Did we say anything? No, because she kept the house up. And my husband felt like, well, that really ain't none of my business. She don't give me the $15 every month. That's all she had to pay out of her pocket. The other $1,000 and some dollars came from them. For as long as they came out and we went through an inspection every year and did whatever that needed to be added or fixed, they sent us our money every month. But yet she still broke the rule. Once you get in that, you pretty much got the medical sold down, you got the Obama phone sold down, you got food with food stamps. How many people get food stamps, the food stamp card these days, and sell it and get money and do other things with it? See, we don't do right as a people. We do what we want to do now. That's not right either. They base that on the number of people in the house, the number of children you have. You're supposed to be by yourself, but are you? Mm. That's the same black man that T said you resemble Martin Luther King, but you are better looking and smarter. Who, Miss Audrey? Now that's absolutely crazy. His son came out and addressed this too. I'm not sure that's the same black man that T said you resemble Martin Luther King, but you are better looking and smarter. I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about there, Miss Audrey. Let me go back up. Audrey, whoever says that must be a pervert themselves. You can't justify our sick mindset. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. I got it. I got it. And that like I said, we've been putting a lot of emphasis on the diddler over here and talking about him. But I thought this morning, the hell that's gonna help me with food? How is that gonna help me with gasoline? How is that gonna help me with taxes? Now I'm in a better position right now with taxes at my age than I've ever been in my life. Ever. Because of my age. I don't have no children out there in school no more, so why should I be paying the same amount of tax somebody else pay? You should get a break sometime in your life. Hey, Miss Lily, how you doing? Top of the morning to you. Of course, I won't stay off. I am busy people. And I understand that, Miss Carolyn, we have a life out here. We don't just have time to sit on YouTube all day long. I appreciate whenever you can come in. I thank you. And catching the replays. Because a lot of y'all don't come into the chat, but you do catch the replays, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everything. You over here supporting the channel with a like or share, whatever. That's good enough for me. It's not all about money all the time. Because the money ain't doing me no good, but it's helping to give my kids some snacks because they hungry. When they get on the bus, and I don't have to always take it out of my pocket. I'm spending anywhere from $40 to $50 a week on snacks. I got high schoolers, junior high, and elementary school. It's that elementary school that I focus more on. Usually the junior high school, they have gotten to that place, even though they special needs, they're going to bring a little snack for the bus. Or their parents are going to remember to put them a little snack on there. But those elementary children have eaten back at 11 o'clock. We're picking them up at 4:30 in the evening. First thing the babies want to do is have something to eat when they get on there. Good morning, Michelle James. How are you doing today? I'm good, Michelle. I had a little problem with my leg, but you know me, I don't complain about it. I get up and do something about it. So that's what I did. And I'm moving. I'm gonna get up and finish cleaning up now after I get through so I can get my hair done because I got it taken down. It's all over my head this morning. Get it shampooed. But I want to come out here and talk to y'all about this presidential election because I've been looking for stuff and it ain't been much out there. You know, they've been going to different states and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you something else about what polling does. Polling helps the presidential candidate to know which state he needs to go to, what he needs to speak on, and the timing has to be right. Because some of you don't understand what polling is all about. You got 5% of the people out there who still haven't made up their mind. They got 3 weeks. 3 to 4% looking at third parties. This election will change our lives. It doesn't matter who gets in there. This is a course of history that is going to change for us. We will watch it. We will hear about it. We will live it for the rest of our lives. America is in a crisis. We owe, we owe, we owe. So how long are they going to be able to subsidize people who are able-bodied, who could get up and go to work every day, have some benefits on a job where if they do cut it out, He's okay. Well, I get up and I go to work every day, so I got some benefits. Yeah. And that's a sad situation. Miss Carolyn is saying, my foot is healing as should. Good, Miss Carolyn. Of course, I am on it more than I should. Okay, I'm going to need you to rest it. But I have so much to do with the holidays just around the corner. Your children coming in, Miss Carolyn? Get you some help. Tell them, look, my foot is messed up. I was out there helping the special needs kids and I injured myself. So I've already bought everything, but I'm gonna need y'all to assist me. My mama was good at that, baby. She'd sit in that bar stool and she'd have me over there, do this, do that. My sister over there, do this, do that. The brothers and their wives would come in. She'd already tell them what she needed to be made, and the table was full of food. And she never got up. Gotta learn. Ask them for some help. I know we as mothers, we don't like doing that, but it's okay. Media showing that he has lots of empty seats. His orange makeup is not even being put on, okay? And he don't need that anyway. He looks funny with that orange on. Why did you put that orange makeup on anyway? Dr. King's son told T, keep his dad's name out of his mouth if speaking negative. Oh, wow. And I don't blame him. I mean, that's his dad. And he went through a lot in civil rights movement. Um, I went through that era of integration and segregation. And I would hate for anybody to come out here and not know what people actually went through, the water hoses and people being locked up for really just trying to express themselves and have things equal. That's what we got to realize. A lot of people didn't go through it, so they don't really know how bad it really was. If you didn't wake up to a cross burning on your yard, you don't know nothing about it. It's just what you read or what you heard. I've experienced that kind of stuff. So I don't see things like a lot of people on social media see them because of my age and the things I have been through and the things that I was set up a lot of times to not make it. You got to outthink them. You got to know when to speak, when not to speak. Some things need to be ignored. That's what a lot of people out here that are younger don't know and don't see. You really hurting the black race when you do that. You really letting people know who you really are when you do that. Stop that. That's not cute. It's not nice. Stop bothering people that is not bothering you and get to the meat of the situation where we are in the world today. That ain't gonna make no difference to come out here and lie on Miss Audrey about anything. It's not. It's not gonna change your life. It's not gonna change your lifestyle. What are you doing to make America the America we once knew, where everybody was happy and everybody did their own thing and there wasn't no hating going on? People were sticking together. I know it's a slave mentality to tell on each other and to come out here and bash each other, but what does that do for you? A little bit of change when you could go out there and go to work and make you some serious money. If you got what you say you got and you're so smart, why are you working for a job that has no benefits and you don't have them? It's just certain things out here I just don't understand. And I just can't listen to those people. That's why our governor, Roy Cooper, dropped from being considered for VP. Because if he had that B man would be in charge. Huh? That all I can say is sometimes I just have to stop and say, I'm shaking my head all the time and I'm wondering, where is your mind? Why are you thinking and talking about that when they ain't got nothing to do with where you going to be after November the 15th? Or you going to still be in the same position or worse? Are you not giving any kind of consideration to your own life? You just sit here comparing other people's life. That's not going to buy you nothing out the store. That's not going to put no gas in your car, no clothes on your back. That ain't going to feed you and your household. I ain't got time for all that. I just don't. And I don't want to be bothered with that. That's crazy to me. It's why you are where you are and jealous and upset about somebody who's made it further than you. Because they didn't take the time out for that dumb stuff. And you think, man, I had so much respect for these people in the political arena, in our daily lives. And I've just lost it. That's why I made my circle so small now. I don't want all that in my life anymore. I don't. I don't want to hear all that crazy stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But anyway, y'all, I have been on here my hour and I have more to say. So we're going to come back later. But I'm going to get up and get something rolling here because my time says it's about 23 minutes to 11 Central Standard Time. So I need to get up and shampoo my hair and get it together. But I do appreciate everybody coming in here this morning. But we're going to come back again because I ain't through with this yet. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Hit the like button for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you can. Y'all take care. Have a happy Saturday, great weekend, and we'll talk later. Much love to you.